Hello and welcome to Architecture Session 209. My name is Lisi Lewis. I am a product marketing manager for AWS Solutions, AWS Repost, and am responsible for general go-to-market strategy for new products. I'm joined today by my colleague Nitin. Nitin, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, thanks, Lisi. Hi, everyone. This is Nitin Tomar. I'm Senior Product Manager in AWS Kumo Content and Knowledge Engineering team. I'm Product Manager for Repost. I'm glad to be here.
Awesome. As you may have guessed, we're here today to talk about Repost, a new question and answer site designed to help you quickly remove technical roadblocks. So we have about 30 minutes of content for you today, just starting with a quick housekeeping item here, going through the agenda. First, we're going to talk about why we created Repost. Then I will give you a brief introduction to the product itself. Nitin will take you through some of the features of Repost. We'll do a brief demonstration for you. We'll close with some how to get started resources and answer any questions that you may have. So let's dive in. So let's start talking about the challenge. Why did we create AWS Repost? I'm going to talk you through the process of getting stuck, also known as a huge emotional roller coaster. We have all been there. That's you. You're working on a project, and everything is going smoothly. And then you hit a snag. You ask yourself, why did this piece of code break my entire application? You look online to see if you can find a quick answer to your question, but you don't see anything that's immediately relevant to your issue. You decide in order to move forward, you need to post your question to a couple of these popular online forums. But you're not super hopeful because your experience in posting questions to these forums in the past is that you're lucky to get an answer to your question at all. However, this time's different. You get 10 answers to your question across 2 different forums. Now starts the process of sifting through all the answers, trying to figure out which one's the best one, which one you should implement. Try and implement one, doesn't solve your issue. You try and implement another one, partially solves your issue, then breaks something else in your application. This process goes on and on and on throughout the day until this feeling of existential dread starts to set in. And at this point in time, chances are you've lost an entire day's worth of work. So to summarize my story, online forums can be great places to debate and discuss a wide variety of topics. However, when it comes to asking technical questions about AWS, these third-party forums are non-authoritative sources. Why? Because they're not AWS. Because they're not authoritative sources, oftentimes users receive inaccurate or stale answers, or worst of all, no answers to their question at all. Customers oftentimes have to post their questions to multiple forums to try and do their own crowdsourcing of answers, but then you still have to go through that process of sifting through all of the answers, trying to determine the best one, which is time-consuming and can be frustrating. Ultimately, we realized that our customers lacked a single trusted online community to get reviewed and up-to-date answers to their technical AWS questions, and that was slowing down their innovation. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to Repost. Repost is a new community-driven question and answer site designed to help you quickly remove technical roadblocks, accelerate innovation, and operate more efficiently. Repost is your one-stop shop for all of your questions related to designing, developing, deploying, and operating applications on AWS. Repost is your single source of truth. Okay, well, what do I mean by that? For the past 5 years, AWS has used an internal version of Repost that has enabled AWS employees, such as technical field community members, to ask and get questions on behalf of their customers. Ask questions and get answers on behalf of their customers. We have taken the most commonly asked questions and their respective answers from the internal version of Repost and seeded them onto the external version of the product so you can start using Repost from day one. This publication process, publishing AWS verified Q&A pairs to Repost, will continue contributing to the ongoing growth of AWS public knowledge. Repost also features expert-reviewed answers. Repost has a vibrant community of cloud experts, including AWS customers and partners like yourselves, as well as AWS employees. Repost users earn points for their contributions on Repost for answering questions correctly and adding AWS certifications to their profiles. These points contribute to their community expert status, and these same experts go in and review answers for accuracy and mark them expert reviewed, so you know the answers you've received are correct. And lastly, Repost features better community engagement. Repost has built-in mechanisms to increase both the likelihood of receiving a response as well as the accuracy of the responses provided. The last thing I'd like to touch upon on this slide is that Repost replaces AWS Forums. For those of you who are not familiar, AWS Forums was a discussion forum, like it sounds like, that served AWS and its customers well for many years. Repost builds upon the foundational elements of AWS Forums, but improves upon them. Nitin will take you through some of the mechanisms in which that is done. All AWS Forums users who have been active in the last 12 months have been migrated to Repost, and as of today can log in using their existing credentials. So with that, I'm going to pass the mic to Nitin, who's going to take you through the rest of the presentation.
Thank you, Lisi. So let's look at what's it's about. So Repost lets you quickly and easily find the answers you're looking for. We accomplish this in a few ways. First, login is not required for you to get access to the rich question and answer content. You can open a browser, go to repost.aws, and can search the existing thousands of questions. The content on Repost is organized by tags and topics. Tags are metadata label that users will apply when they post a question. And topics are curated knowledge domain that aggregates the relevant tags and present and organize the content into a specific topic, which helps you navigate the site easily and helps you find the information that you're looking. Repost also leverages machine learning to recommend smart content. When you search for a question, it surfaces the relevant questions that have been already asked, so the answers that you get are more relevant to you. Repost offers a feature where you can follow community experts and topics. So whenever there is an activity happens on either any of those topics or that community expert posts a content, you get an instant notification, so you remain up to speed on the content. The guidance that you get on Repost, you can trust. When you're ready to engage with the community, you will log in using your AWS credentials. Once you are in the Repost using your login, you will be able to ask questions. You can answer questions that are asked by other users. If you're an expert in an area, you are interested, you can go and look for questions that do not have an answers, and you start providing your expert answers. You can also add comments, upvotes, downvotes, and so on. When you ask a question, Repost automatically connects that question to a subject matter experts of the topic in hand. What it does, it increases the chance of you getting a response, and also the accuracy of the response will be high because these are the experts in their domain. Repost also identifies users, whether they are experts or AWS employees. So when these users provide an answer, you would be able to clearly see that who has provided the guidance. Based on that, you would be able to trust the responses that you're getting on Repost. It's a vibrant community. This community is made of AWS employees and partners like you, and employees as well. It features a gamification element so that you can earn points that contribute to your community experts. You can earn points by providing a quality responses. When your question or when you provide an answer and a question asker accepts your answer, you get point. If you're an expert, if you review an answer, you get points. You can also link your AWS certifications. I'll talk about in a bit. You can link your AWS certifications and you can earn points by linking your AWS certifications to Repost. Repost also displays badges, and these are based on milestones. So we have 5 levels of tiers based on points: Rising Star, Star, Champion, Sage, Fellow. Once you unlock these levels, you would see a badge is displayed on your profile. Last but not the least, Repost enables you to get extra help from AWS support. So for the AWS Premium Support customers, if your question is not answered by a community member, Repost will route it to a support engineer to get you a response so that your project keeps moving forward. Let's take a look at how does Repost looks like. So this is a homepage screen. Open your browser, you go to repost.aws, this is what you will see. It's a free self-service offering for all users to search for guidance. You can post questions, you can propose answers, and you can join community groups. Like I said, you don't need a login to browser search. Next, let's look at the information architecture of Repost. So the top bar that you see is the top navigation, where you would see questions, tags, topics in community groups. On the top left, you would see all questions. If you go, you can look at all questions. You can filter based on most recent, most views, and also questions that have most votes as well. You would also notice there is a filter for unanswered. This is where, if you are interested in a topic, you have an expertise, you go and look for that and start contributing your expertise on Repost. To the right at top, you see tags. The tags are labeled. As you post a question, you would apply a label so that it gets organized into the right topic. Some examples of tags are AWS Amplify and AppConfig. At the bottom left, you would see topics. So this is an aggregated relevant tags organized into topics. And examples of topics are analytics, compute, and so on. This helps you navigate through the information. If you're interested in a particular topic, you straight go to the topic and you see all the questions that are posted and answered under that topic. The bottom right, you see community groups. Community groups organizes community members who express their interest in a topic. So if, for example, a networking would be a community group. If you go to networking community group, this is what you would see. All the users who are part of that community group, users join community group by following a topic. Here you can view details about each of the community members. What are their contributions? What type of questions they have asked? How many points they have? And importantly, you can see if they are an expert, Repost will display a label. And if a community member is an AWS employee, we'll display that it's an AWS employee. Let's look at the search experience. As you start typing text in the search bar, Repost will display matching question and answers, and it will also display matching topics. If any of the search results have accepted answer, it's displayed in the search result. So you don't have to go through each of the questions and see which one has the accepted answer. Right from the search bar, you would be able to go directly to the question that has accepted answer. Once you're on answer page, that's the right side of the screen, you would see how many answers that question has. And Repost will display an accepted answer at the beginning, at the top. You're free to filter based on newest or most comments. You can also see how many upwards, downwards it has. You can also see who has provided the response. And what's unique about Repost is experts will be reviewing the answers. So in addition to who has provided the answer, you can see who is the expert who has reviewed the answer and when was it done. This is to increase the trust in the content that's published on Repost. When you're ready to ask a question, we will ask you to create a profile. If all you have to do is to use your AWS account, and I'll walk you through a couple of steps of registration. It's the sign-up process. We'll ask you to select a display name, screen name. It's going to be public. We'll also ask you to give your email address, which will be private. This is required to verify your account. You can specify your expertise. You can import your Credly badges, AWS certification badges, directly into Repost. You can do it through your profile settings. And you can also specify skills. And skills, when you start selecting skills, these are the tags and topics that we saw earlier. And if you select a topic as a skill, you become part of that community group. So your profile starts showing up in that community group, and other users can start following you. Let's take a look at how would you ask a question. When you go to ask a question, we offer guidelines for you to refer to. Some examples of guidelines are: be concise. Do not include any personal information. Anything that's specific to your employer, or specific to your application. Also include any relevant research that you have already completed, so that question is clear for experts to answer. Once you start typing, you would see you can format, you can insert code blocks, you can insert links as well. As you're typing the question, Repost will suggest tags. That's the right side of the screen that you're seeing right now. These are the tags that Repost has recommended based on the text that you have included in the question. You feel free to use the tags that's displayed, or you can apply your own tags. What happened, these tags help Repost determine what topic this question should be posted in. If it's posted in a topic, all experts in that topic will get notified. And also people who are following that topic will get notified. Again, it will increase your chance of getting an answer, and also an accurate answer. So it's important to pay with attention to what tags you're applying to your question. This is how the profile will look like. The top screen is when somebody is viewing other users' profile. They can see all the badges you have. Others can see where you are in terms of the reputation level. This person is at Rising Star. You can instantly follow from here. You can also see what content they have contributed, what questions they have asked on Repost, what answers they have provided, and what comments they have provided. The bottom screen is the profile that you will see yourself in your My Profile settings. This is the place where you can manage your settings. You can set your notification preferences. You can see your own content, all the activities that you have performed on Repost. And if you're an expert, you would see there's a needs review tab. So Repost will be pushing content to experts for review, and this is where they will be able to find the content of their interest that they would like to provide an answer. You may also notice there are badges. So Repost will display badges based on the milestones. And for example, if your answer gets accepted by a question asker, you will get a badge. If you're an expert, if you review an answer, you will get a badge. These are milestones based. And you will also notice there's a badge called Founding Member Badge as well. We'll talk about it in a bit. So I think that's it for the demonstration. Over back to you, Lisi.
Thanks so much, Nitin. So as you can see, getting started on Repost is very simple. All you have to do is visit repost.aws. Nitin just mentioned a founding member badge. We are offering an exclusive opportunity for you all here and the folks online to earn a founding member badge. All you have to do is log into Repost by the end of the day tomorrow, and that badge will appear in your profile. All right, so at this point in time, we will take any questions that the audience might have.
Go ahead.
Yes. So I believe the question was, is the forums getting retired entirely? Is that correct?
Yeah. So repost will replace forums. Forums, there is an announcement on forums today. It will be kept on for next 2 weeks. Then it will be turned into a read-only mode. And then within a quarter, it will be retired. All the users will be redirected to repost. So existing users on forums, we have migrated their content, their points onto repost.
Thank you, Nitin. Any other questions from the audience? Okay. Well, thank you so much for your time today. We really enjoyed chatting with you. Just as a reminder, please complete the session survey in your mobile app. Enjoy the rest of reInvent, and we'll see you tonight at Replay.